No, it didn't.
We're rolling.
Welcome to another episode of Philadelphia Eagles Talk with Geoff and Matt. I was waiting for our 30-second intro, but didn't happen. That's okay. Matt, welcome to the program. Eagles coming off another victory as we go to 2-0. The 3-point, 20-17 victory over the Chiefs in KC, which is a very tough place to win. So 2-0 as we head to the huge matchup, one of the biggest matchups that me and you pointed out at the beginning of the season, not just because we're actually going to be there, just the fact that the Rams are one heck of a team, and that's going to be a big-time test coming up this weekend. But before we dive into that, it'll be a really separate episode. We may touch a little bit on it today. But let's go back a couple of days to the Eagles-Chiefs game. Matt, what are your overall thoughts of the game? I'm going to break it down a little bit. The Eagles go to 2-0. Just give us your general thoughts about the game.
Well, I thought it played out exactly well. If we talked about our score predictions, I had the Eagles scoring a little bit more. And did I think the passing game would be this anemic? Probably not. But at the same time, kind of like a typical game, right? Whoever, if John Madden were here, he'd be like, well, if you don't turn the ball over, you have a chance to win a football game, right? So the Eagles didn't turn it over. The Kansas City Chiefs did, and that's really what that game came down to. A lot of talk about the tush-push and who's offsides and who's in the neutral zone versus who. I mean, the Eagles definitely false started on the replays that I saw there. Yeah. But the Kansas City guys also lining up.
They're all lining off offside.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know what you want to make of that. It's probably not worth any time to talk about. But
we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll get into that.
Yeah. The biggest thing is just the running game works. They committed to the run again. They got 2 wins in their pocket. We can talk about the rest of it as we break it down, but ultimately not surprised by the results. Happy to be 2-0. And while we're figuring things out, now, I'm not afraid that the passing game won't be there. I think a lot of local media in Philly is going crazy over this new OC, Kevin Patullo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
it was Patullo.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's like such a short-term memory, I think, for some Eagles fans, where obviously if they wanted to throw the ball, they're going to be able to do that. That was the whole complaint last year until we got to the Super Bowl and threw it all over the Chiefs when it mattered. So I really don't have much concern over that. It's going to be there. Are they adjusting to a new OC and a new play caller? Sure. But at the same time, you got Barkley, you got A.J. Dillon, you just signed Tank, or you just traded for Tank Bigsby. So run the shit out of the ball and play good defense, and you can win every game. So I'm not retreating off of that until a team makes me do it. So we'll see what the Rams got this Sunday, but just run the ball, play good defense. Probably going to win every game.
It's definitely been a formula for success, and the Eagles have executed, I think, especially defensively. Probably they're ahead of where we thought they'd be with some of the changes that they've made this year. Most of them been on defense. They're playing probably a little more than impressively this early on. We could still consider this portion of the season the preseason. As we head into Game 3, I think things will start to sharpen across the league as now the starters have been playing into their third week here coming up. One thing that's interesting is that none of us were able to see, because I've only heard about it through other post-game talks, and that is, I don't know if you heard this, Matt, but the opening play, which none of us saw because we were watching the end of the crazily exciting Cowboys and Giants game.
Yeah,
none of us saw the Eagles' first play from scrimmage, I don't know if you heard, was going to be a deep bomb to A.J. Brown. Hurts was ready to set up and ready to pass it, but he got some pressure and he ended up moving a little bit and actually fumbled the ball. I still am trying to wait for someone to tell me because I haven't seen it yet, and I didn't check the stats or anything. Did the Eagles recover the ball? Or did the Chiefs get a turnover? I don't know. I have a feeling that it sounds like the Eagles got the ball back still. But anyway, the opening play, they were going deep to A.J. Brown, and Hurts was lining it up to throw it. Apparently, A.J. had the guy beat, and yet a guy got some pressure, and Hurts kind of scrambled just a tad and ended up losing the ball. So did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that at all. And what's funny is the game is like the replay is here if I wanted to put it on the TV. In fact, I might just do that while you're talking.
You know what? If you can queue up the beginning play, you can give us a little bit more, because I'm curious. Honestly, I'm curious. Maybe the audience is too, because who knows if anyone was on the East Coast or watching that Cowboys-Giants game. We didn't get to that game until it was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes into the first quarter. So, Matt, see if you can cue that up, and I'll just keep going here for a minute about some general thoughts about the game, and you can chime in also while you're doing that. I'd be interested to see you just watch it and then just give us a breakdown of the play. I'm going to assume, again, I don't know for a fact, that it was the first play of the Eagles game, of their offensive game. Maybe it's the second play in their first series of downs when that happened. All right, so a couple things. Tough place to play. So regardless of how anemic the passing game looked overall, to come out of KC with a win, not even having that, other than the deep bomb late in the game under zero blitz pressure, that Jalen was able to get that ball off to Smith, who made a great recovery play, because it was obviously the ball was not, the ball was short, and AJ Smith, AJ Smith, Devontae Smith made a great reception downfield, which ended up leading to the touchdown. So let's just quickly talk about I guess we'll just get to the tush push while you're queuing that up. You're able to queue that up, you said, man? And then I'm going to bring it up.
So what's funny is even the plays, even the key plays, even the start of the game for the recording that I have on YouTube TV starts with just 3 minutes, 51 seconds left. So that's, I guess, the entire game started there for everything. So yeah, I don't have it.
Oh, so not even YouTube TV or whatever has the beginning of the game.
Right, on the replay. It starts, the beginning of the game of the replay starts with 3 minutes, 51 seconds to go in the first quarter, which is that must be where the feed was picked up. So,
well, according to, again, apparently, and I don't know, some people chime in if you watched it. If you saw it, you describe the play and just confirm whether or not what I've heard is true, that they were going to first play of the game for the Eagles was going to be a deep bomb to AJ Smith, but at the last moment, Chiefs got some pressure. Brown. What did I say?
AJ Smith.
AJ Brown. I'm getting their names confused. Come on. AJ Brown. Yeah. So, all right. So, Matt, let's get into the tush push. I think we just want to knock that out right now. First of all, they ran it a lot. I mean, I don't think I've seen the Eagles run the tush push as much as they did in that one game from a single game perspective. They ran it 7 times. It's a lot. I can see where some fans, I can see where some fans, especially that aren't Eagle fans, are sick of that play, don't want to play, don't like to play, whine about the play, cry about the play. And of course, a lot of them are posting about how, the Eagles, they always wonder to play successful. They cheat all the time. They're not offsides all the time. But there was definitely once or twice during this game where, especially Landon Dickerson seems to be the main culprit. He was way ahead of the snap. And I think you mentioned it, Matt. But you look at the Chiefs, or really all the other teams that line up for that play, they're always over in the neutral zone. So it's like, the Eagles really technically are not offsides, because is it offsetting, or is it always the defensive who gets the foul if there is a neutral zone infraction? Then really you can't be offsides if there's a neutral zone infraction, right? Or is it offsetting penalties?
I'm not sure how that breaks down exactly. So if you're lined up and nobody's moving, but the defense is in the neutral zone, they throw a flag on the defense for lining up in the neutral zone.
Right.
Offsides, having an offensive lineman jump because somebody's coming off sides, well, then they blame the defense for that, and they throw the offsides flag versus the neutral zone infraction flag sometimes. So I'm not sure if there's specific rules about when the offensive line can go, but essentially it seems like it seems like the offense never gets penalized if the defense is what causes them to move, right? Yeah. That's when the lineman will stand up.
I guess what I'm getting at. So they're lining up in a neutral zone. That is an automatic penalty before there's any snap or offsides, right? That's kind of what I was getting at. Or false start.
And they can't call that until the ball's snapped. because they always allow the defense to back it up, right? So it's just it's a hard play to officiate, I realize, after the game with the Chiefs. But either way,
I'm glad
I think the Eagles ran it. I think the Eagles ran it so many times because they wanted practice against a real team. And I think every time they get it in short distance, they're going to run it in these games that matter, but kind of are teams figuring out what the heck they're going to be for the year. So I think that's what was in the mindset of the play calling.
Yeah, I think you said it. I think that for these teams that were looking to ban it last year and them using the excuse, oh, it's an unsafe play, blah, 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 which didn't hold any water and was the reason why it still passed and was allowed to be in play this year. Now they have some more ammunition because this is a much better case that they have to bring to the league and say, hey, this is a play that the officials really have a tough time officiating because they can't see inside what's going on or whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's even true, but it seems that that's a little bit better case to be made, argument to be presented in order to, ban the play. I think if they go that route, which they probably will, we might not see the tush push next year. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I think the Eagles will be just as effective. I don't think they'll be able to stop Jalen Hurts on the quarterback sneak anyway. That's the whole thing.
No, I don't.
I really don't.
I don't think so either. Like it's so funny to me how much attention this has gotten over the past few years. And again, the main reason is because it's so effective. The Eagles run it so effectively. And I don't know. It's just we're going to get that no matter what, anyways. Like a QB sneak, who's stopping Jalen Hurts when he just decides to dive between the center and the tackle? Like you're not going to be able to do it.
Exactly.
And the Eagles got some trick plays up their sleeves around it anyway. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as the season goes on. But
Yeah. All right. All right. So let's dive into the game a little bit. Let's get to some player grades. I didn't grade out many players low like I did in opening week. I had a couple like D's and stuff. But do you want to give us a grade A player from the Chiefs? A game on Sunday?
From the Chiefs? Well,
yeah,
Mahomes,
Chiefs
right?
Game. Not the Chiefs, but from the Chiefs game.
Okay, I was wondering for a second because I'm like, from the Chiefs, it's Mahomes. Mahomes is their A player all the time. But no, I would say Makuba has to be the one that's jumped off the page the most for having like the biggest impact plays, right? So he makes the tackle before he gets his interception from Kelsey. He makes a key stop coming across the field to make a tackle on, I can't remember who exactly, but stops the drive cold. Good read, good movement, good tackle. Didn't miss. I mean, he's making it hard. He really is making it hard for Sidney Brown to see the field because he's playing really well. I don't know why he didn't have enough legs to get past the offensive lineman that tackled him on the interception. So I can't give him an A+, because if he had an A+, he would have outrun that lineman to get the touchdown.
He deserves a lot of credit, though. That offensive lineman was hauling ass to make, got to give that guy credit. And he had a good angle coming in. So to Makuba's defense, I know he did a lot. But the guy did have a good angle that he took on him. Unless you're super fast, he probably wasn't going to get away. But that guy, man, give that guy a high five who busted his ass, that offensive lineman. Was it Simmons? Something like that?
It was the rookie, Josh Simmons.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Ohio State.
That guy hauls ass for a big dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
So I give him credit.
Coming at me to block.
He did save a touchdown because Makuba was gone. He was the last hope that they had,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it's kind of fluky because Kelsey doesn't drop many of those things, but, that's the difference between Super Bowl championship teams and teams that are good but just don't make it there. Like, I haven't seen in 2 games with the Eagles, I haven't seen them make those types of mistakes. Maybe that's because the Hurts play wasn't on TV, so I couldn't see it. But the Eagles just seem really solid to me. They're just really solid. They're already playing like pretty good mistake-free football. But I'll pass it back to you. I give Makuba my A, solid A. Could have been an A+ if he scored the touchdown on it, but I'll just give him an A. He's a player.
Yeah, he's definitely my A player, but I want to touch on what you just said about, the Eagles not making mistakes and they're good teams. Good teams win. And it's like whenever you see these, we're going back in time, these teams that were always good. You just remember, whether it was the Cowboys back in the 90s or the Patriots when they had some of their runs. All the really good teams, they always seem to be in close games where they might lose, or it's games on the, comes down to this play. Those teams always made that type of play. Yep. Bounce off, goes right to the guy, and we're always like, oh, man, they always get the breaks. Well, good teams put themselves in those positions, and those teams take advantage of those type of plays. And Makuba does seem to be a guy who is drawn to the ball. They said about him coming out of college, and listen, I'm on record about how I wanted Sidney Brown to get a shot at the starting job. But I also said if Makuba plays him, so be it. And not that I've seen, Brown really to have a lot of time on the field to make an impact. He's still in the base defense, but the Eagles are rarely in their base defense, which is kind of weird. It's like, why do you call it a base defense if they're hardly in it? Well, he is still the base safety, but the Eagles play so much nickel that Makuba's on the field more than Brown is. And the kid's making plays. I mean, so as much as I love Sidney Brown, still do, I'm not going to say that he should be starting over Makuba, who just keeps making these plays and made a huge play in that game. That was probably the game. We don't know how it would have turned out with the Eagles, the way they were passing the ball. That could have been the game right there, because they weren't moving the ball that great. But who knows? That certainly the Chiefs would have taken the lead there. That was in the fourth quarter, right? Was that early in the fourth quarter?
Had to be in the fourth. Yeah, I think it had to be in the fourth quarter. I don't recall exactly. So you say that at the same time as we're saying the Eagles don't make those mistakes, right? They were in very close games, 2 games in a row, where team looks like they're about to go in and score, and all of a sudden we get a Miles Sanders fumble, and then we get a Travis Kelce off my hands interception week after week. So it's like, okay, at some point, that luck is going to run out with just the ball bouncing our way. But for now, we'll take it because it's preseason. So give us the 2 wins. I don't think we need to look too hard at this. You were saying, historically, we've been watching football for 40-something plus years, right? And the Eagles offense, and listening to the Eagles local Philadelphia social media and just reading some comments and stuff, I'm like, does nobody remember having the crappy Eagles teams when Bill Parcells and those 86 Giants and 89 Giants were just run the ball, get 3 yards in a cloud of dust, run the ball, get 3 yards in a cloud of dust, 5 yard, 6 yard pass to Bavaro, back to the cloud of dust. And I'm like, you couldn't stop them. And their time of possession was so dominant in all those games, and you couldn't stop it because they were so good at doing that. So I just think back to that. I'm like, I don't care how we get the W. I just want the W. That's all I care about. Give me the Eagles winning on Sunday, and I'll take that over any stat you can throw at me.
Good point. And what else did that 86 Giants team that you referenced have? A really good defense.
Really good defense. 100%.
Yeah.
A better defense for sure than our defense is right now. Let's just make that.
Yeah, well, they also had a guy. They also had number 56 on that team. It was just happened to be one of the greatest defense players of all time. But I mean, your point is well made. I mean, that's exactly right. So, but at some point, this Eagles offense has got to get going. And the only thing that I would mention, and we mentioned it last week, is it the offensive coordinator issue? Or is it at times, and I do think it is because I've seen it. We mentioned it in the Dallas game when he had AJ on a quick slant open and hesitated to throw to him. Is Hurts being a little overprotective or a little gun shy because he doesn't want to turn the ball over? Is that part of the Eagles' woes on the passing game? And I think it is. I think Hurts deserves some of the blame here. But to your point, would you rather him be safe, get a W, or be a little more riskier? The Eagles' offense is, it's really a fine line. You want Hurts to be more aggressive and more confident and just let it fly. Sounds like they did early in the game or was about to, but we'll never see it, apparently. But I wanted to keep that mentality. Just the fact that they had that queued up is what I like to hear, even though I didn't see it, because I want those to take some shots down the field. So, and they're going to need to do it this coming weekend. This is the team, that they happen to catch the Chiefs at a good time. They didn't have any Worthy in the lineup. And Rice is still serving a suspension. That Chiefs team is going to be a lot better 5 or 6 weeks from now than they are right now. So the Eagles caught them at the right time. But this is a huge test for their defense, number one, and for their offense, because their offense is going to have to score points. I don't think they're going to be able to keep the Rams under 17 points like they've been the last couple of weeks. So we'll talk about that more. But the Eagles' offense, really, the passing game needs to be there. If they're going to be a good team, they need that passing game to come around. I think it's going to. I'm not really that concerned about it. I think it's going to be there at some point.
I have no concerns. I have no concerns that the passing game will be there when they need it to be there. Will it be a little bit rusty? Probably, because every team's coming off an off season. But Hurts is a gamer, man.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
Yeah, Hurts is a gamer. So what does he have to prove to Eagles fans everywhere and to the rest of the football watching world? Like, the dude can play. He shows up in big games. If they need him to be a spark, he will. I have confidence he'll be there and be that spark. And then AJ and Smith will take off, and we'll get to the end of that game. We'll be like, what were we worried about? I don't know. Yeah. Because we have an awesome offense. And
keep in mind, too, that they didn't have Dallas Goedert.
There you go. So we started with, I thought Calvin would have been more active, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have Goddard.
Nobody was really active in the passing game again, like 100-something yards, right?
Yeah, and I think this is one of the games that they missed Goddard quite a bit, too. When Goddard's not in there, they do miss him. I mean, he's a guy that Hurts will throw to. He seems to be more confident throwing to Goddard on those slants or outs or whatever on those big third downs than he is going down the sidelines to either Smith or AJ. So when he's not in there, I think Hurts misses him. I really do. Hopefully he's back. I don't know. We're going to monitor the status of Goddard because they're going to need him hopefully against the Rams. He'll be in there. All right, my A player will be Jake Elliott. I love bringing Jake and he's grading him high because there was a faction of Eagle fans last year. You guys know who you are. That wanted the Eagles to cut him because he struggled so bad. I remember seeing posts and even some Eagle commenters, guys that were not the big names in the Philly media, but some of those like off-site Philadelphia sites asking and like, we need to cut Jake. Let's get a kicker, blah, 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 blah. I almost commented on every single one of them saying, are you nuts? I have full confidence in Jake. I just mentioned him, I type and inject my own little opinion in there. But I had Jake's back all along. Yeah, I mean, the guy's everyone struggled last year. You've mentioned it, Matt. How many field goal kickers struggled last year? It wasn't just Jake.
Almost all of them. There was one good kicker last year. That was
and Jake's
Steelers. Steelers, Chris
Boswell, right?
Had an amazing season. Everyone else struggled.
Yep. Yeah, I saw the one of the best kickers in the league going into the season was the Tampa Bay kicker. I know that because I drafted him in my fantasy league. He's already botched like 3 or 4 kicks already this year. I'm like, it's killing me watching him because I'm like, Jesus. But you have Elliott, who's already hit 3 55-plus yard field goals. He had 2 58-yard field goals already this year. So
solidly.
Any of you out there, Jake haters, I hope you are eating your crow. But yeah, Jake Elliott, A for me. Go ahead. Who's any other A players for you?
Barkley, another, like, you didn't break any of the big ones, but man, 6 yards here, 8 yards there. He gets the touchdown run. Like, Barkley's just such an asset on this team to have. And he's just, he's in great shape. I don't think the Eagles are going to burn him out by running him this season. I think it's just, he had another regular A game for Barkley. He's an all-star, all-pro all the time.
Yep, and this is why the Eagles' passing game is going to need to get going because Barkley is not going to be as effective, as good as he is, and he could still break it even though teams are keying on him. But as each passing week that teams see, hey, the Eagles are struggling passing the ball, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to keep continuing to key on Barkley to stop him and say, beat us, Steve, beat us. Show us you can beat us. And until Hurts does that, they're going to key on. Like I could see, Sean Who's the coach for the Rams? Sean
McVay.
McVay, thanks. I can see McVay telling his defense this week, guys, we're going to key on Barkley, let Hurts beat us, and I think this is going to have to be a big Hurts game because they're going to try to stop Barkley. Now, they've had trouble stopping Barkley, which is all the more reason why they're going to definitely key on him this week because Barkley ran all over the Rams last year. I mean, most of his 50-yard runs were against the Rams.
So Hurts had a big rushing game in the playoffs too. So, I think the Rams are going to be if there's a week, wouldn't that be awesome if we're there live to watch this passing game come alive, right? So,
yeah, I know
they've got to be prepared for
this year yet. We haven't seen any of Hurts' design runs. There hasn't been that many RPOs this year so far.
No,
I
thought maybe a designed run in the first week, late in the game, just to ice the deal. I think there was maybe one or at least one, but
yeah, there might have been. I'm just saying, it's been part of their offense last year when they'd run it 2 or 3 times, either the RPO or just the designed Hurts run. We haven't really seen that this year. Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. Any other players?
Okay, you just named Barkley.
Yeah,
everyone else Barkley, right?
Go ahead.
I got one more.
Yep.
Jordan Davis. I thought Jordan Davis had an A game, probably one of the best games I've seen him. He was even getting some penetration as far as rushing the quarterback a little bit. He was getting in there, maybe not rushing the quarterback, but he was getting through. And he was great against the run. And I also read a stat somewhere, a blurb, where as far as defensive tackles, he leads the NFL defensive tackle position in tackles.
Nice. So, that's what you want.
Way to go. Way to go, Jordan Davis.
Yeah. Well, he was in beast mode in the offseason, man, and it's proven, he's proven it out. So
he's played great. I thought he outplayed Carter. And I haven't been able to say that, I don't think ever, but I thought that, Carter obviously did his thing, what he usually does. But I thought Davis outplayed Carter. I don't know how many times I'm ever going to be able to say that, but I thought this past weekend he did.
I think that'd be amazing.
So, yeah,
amazing if Davis.
If
Davis finishes the season leading in tackles at the DT position, that would be an outstanding season. And then they'll have to pay him again too. You got a lot of guys to pay.
Yeah, he's doing it at the right time because his contract is up for sure this year. All right, so do you have any other A players, Matt?
No, okay. not really. No,
All right, how about any B graded out?
Plenty of Bs. I mean, Devontae Smith, he's so reliable when the ball comes his way. So that was a big catch late in the game to get him down into the red zone. And I'm not even sure I saw an Eagles receiver drop a pass, right? Did they miss any passes? I mean, they didn't throw much, but I don't recall them not catching the ball.
There was the overthrow to Smith. On the left sideline, and the one where he jumped up and hurt his back. But that was not really a catchable pass. I mean, gotcha. I guess it would have been an incredible catch.
Yeah.
There was that one. But there was also that play that Smith made where he caught it and ran it for like 12 yards. Like he had some good yak yards. I don't know if you remember that play that he made. That was a nice play too.
Like Smith's the next big player. Everyone else kind of isn't I didn't see anybody play poorly.
I got one more that I would put in the B category. I only have one player to put in the B category.
Okay.
Other than Smith. I mean, Smith is definitely would fall into that category. And that is our newest, speaking of Smith, the newest Smith, Za'Darius.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought a guy who hasn't played a snap since January was a big time factor in the 15 or so snaps that he was in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was.
I think he's a great pickup if he's going to be playing like that. Not to mention his leadership as well that he's going to bring. But he's already coming in like just with a fire of energy. Like he's like a just a bolt of energy. He got some good pressure. He was in on that sack with, I think it was Makuba, wasn't it? Didn't Makuba get a half a sack on a blitz?
Yeah.
Makuba and him converged and got a sack on Mahomes. Which, by the way, speaking of blitz, how about Vic sending some guys this week?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, he's great at adjustments, right? So Vic Fangio, I love the fact he's like, he reminds me of Jimmy Johnson. So like great at making little adjustments here and there, even from quarter to quarter. He knows almost immediately like, nope, this ain't going to work for us today. Let's make an adjustment. Seems to always have his chess pieces in the right place to go make a play, which is just awesome to have that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
He's such a key guy to have on this Eagles coaching staff, man. Like, I hope he coaches 5 more years, but I'm not sure if he's got it in him. But man, I hope he's training somebody up because he's still a master.
He reminds me a lot of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. Right? Just he kind of has a
matter of fact guy. He's like,
yeah.
He's all business. All business.
He's got a Philly scowl going most of the time, just like looks angry.
Yeah, and you can tell that he doesn't put up. Like, he's the type of coach you can just tell that he doesn't put up with his shit in practice. Like, he'll play guys that earn it, and he doesn't give a crap how much money someone's making. You're not going to play for Vic unless you're showing him you deserve to be on the field. And I love that type of coach.
Yep.
So I don't really have any other ratings. I don't even think it's worth the grade. I don't think anybody played badly that I can recall. So I'm not even going to bother with any like lower type grades.
I think Jackson
think that
may have gotten a flag for something real chintzy. Like I don't think it should have been a flag. Yeah, I want to say they threw a flag on him for defensive holding or something, and I'm like, I don't think he played good, but again, he wasn't playing the greatest talent, or he wasn't tested with a lot of talent, so he played better for sure, but he also played better.
This week.
It's those speed guys. Yeah, next week will be something different.
Yeah, next week, he's got either Devontae Adams or Nakua, and we need Jackson to step up next week for sure. At least contain him. I don't expect him to shut anyone down really, but we just don't want to have the big play against us in that game. Keep everybody in front, and even the play, like even the bomb that Mahomes got off. I don't know what happened on that play because it seemed like Mitchell, who ran his ass off to even get there. So I don't know who was supposed to cover him. Was that a safety was supposed to be on him over the middle? I don't know if that was
I'm not sure.
Responsibility. Mitchell, because it showed you, the overhead. Like Mitchell came all the way from across the field and got there and almost was able to break it up. I mean, he almost made a great play on that. But I don't know who was supposed to cover him on that play. I don't know who's got it.
No, it was well executed play by the Chiefs. If there was, then maybe they had a
catch.
Yeah, would have had an inside out.
Mitchell's recovery speed and how he got there, and really even got his hand on the ball. I mean, it was good Thornton to bring that in because Mitchell's got his hand even on it, or he was kind of like hand in the way at least. So good effort by Mitchell. I don't know who was supposed to be covering him, but he was wide open when
looked blown.
Yeah. All right. So anything else you want to touch on? I got one other thing to say, and it comes down to kind of what you were talking about at the beginning about how I don't care how the Eagles win, what Hurts' stats are. Well, I think Hurts also doesn't give a shit because if you saw, which is the viral clip that's going around, Chris Jones is like, the last snap when they're taking a knee, he's like, you haven't even thrown for 100 yards. And Hurts is like, something like, we won the game, shut the fuck up. I don't know if you've seen that at all.
Yeah, I did. I didn't play the audio, but I saw the interaction between them at the line of scrimmage there. And
that's hilarious that freaking Hurts just gave right back in his face.
Yeah, and he's 100% correct.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part where I'm like, look at the losing quarterbacks, like Russell Wilson. Look at any of these guys that have thrown for a ton of yards and just can't win a game because their defense is either awful or they can't run the ball. They can't step on a team's throat when they got the lead. It's 2 close games that the Eagles have had the lead late, but it's a 1-score game and they're able to close it out. So just being able to do that is something they learned last year, and they know they can do it again. And that's what's going to carry them through this tough schedule.
Yeah. So huge game coming up this weekend. We are going to try to slip in a preview game, or we're just going to record live at the game because Matt and I will be there this weekend for the Rams Eagles game, the big matchup of the week. It's also the game of the week again. I think for the second straight week, the Eagles are the game of the week. Huge game in Philly, and going to be a big test. So just give a quick little snip of what you're. How do you? I don't know if you want to do a prediction. We can kind of hold off on our predictions, but how do you just right now on a Tuesday night? How do you feel about this game? And what are your thoughts? Quickly.
Well, we knew coming into this season that the Rams were the toughest team that we had played last season in the playoffs, right? Yeah. And thank God for Barkley, and thank God for Snow
JC.
and JC. Yep. So all those players are going to be key in this one, right? JC going to need to have a big game out of JC. The Rams are 2-0. We're 2-0. Our opponents, I'm not sure they're any more difficult than what the Rams have played because, Cowboys, who knew what they were, who still knows what they're going to be. Chiefs banged up, and yet, win the games you're supposed to win, right? When Andy Reid was coach, we're always like, well, just win the ones you're supposed to win.
Yeah, that's a tough place to play. Even though the Chiefs were, down some guys, that's still hard to go down there and beat them.
100%. And, we get the Rams at home. It's not the home opener, but it's the first Sunday game there. So I think the fans are going to be fired up for this one. They're going to be very loud. We'll see if Matt Stafford, how his back holds up in game 3, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams came alive last week. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough mismatch. If Adoree Jackson is worried about being burnt deep, he's going to have his hands full in this one. So if not predicting a score, but if we lose, it's because we couldn't hold up against that wide receiver group of the Rams. Yeah. Plus what you already said, we weren't able to catch up with our own passing game at the same time that was happening. That's how the Eagles may lose this one. If the Eagles get pressure on Stafford and can hit him before those balls come out, then it's a whole different thing. So we'll see. Yeah,
getting pressure against Stafford, I think, will be key because he's not mobile. He's even less mobile than he normally is because he's got a back issue. So if the Eagles can bang around, knock around, maybe Vic is going to have, Vic, again, blitz the heck. I mean, those most blitzes I've seen from Vic in a while, maybe ever, that I've seen him blitz that much as he did last week. Maybe he's going to do that again. I mean, he probably knows he needs to rattle and get in Stafford's head and, kind of speed up his quarterback clock to make him, either make some errant throws or rush some passes, stuff like that. I think that's going to be a key to the game without getting into the keys of the game. So, all right. So programming note, first of all, like and subscribe. Matt and I will be down there next week. Still trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to try to shoot some live footage during the tailgating, give you a little bit of a fan experience as far as the pregame atmosphere. So even if we're not recording necessarily live, we will just get some chunks of video and then kind of put together like some kind of post game maybe of the Rams Eagles while we're talking about it, be able to show you some video footage. Anyway, not sure how we're going to put that together yet, but bottom line is make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of that. And Matt and I are both looking forward to getting out there and being amongst the Legion of Eagle fans down in Philly. So, Matt, any closing thoughts?
I think the Eagles will be focused. So I expect a good game. It's probably going to be close. If we lose, that's fine. That's why you needed to win the ones that you should win. And we expected them to win the last 2 weeks. So, Rams, it's going to be close. It's going to be.
Have we ever seen the Rams? I'm trying to think of any game. Have you ever seen the Rams in Philly? Not sure if I have seen the Rams.
I don't recall seeing the Rams. This might be the first time.
Yeah, I think it is. So it's interesting. A good team. So it should be a good game. Matt and I will try to bring some luck. And we've had a pretty good record here lately. Got a good run going. So here's the thing. If the Eagles do lose, they don't get a break the following week. The nemesis is on the next is next up. The freaking damn Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it's funny. I'm watching the game last night. I can't remember what I was talking on the phone. I think I was on my phone with my buddy, and I'm like, this is when the Bucks had just given up the lead, and I'm like, there's way too much time for Baker. Like Baker,
he's so
say what
underrated.
you want about him. That guy is one of the few
underrated
quarterbacks in the league, man. I'm like, this game. I said I can see Baker's going to win this game, and he brought him all the way downfield. No problem. Like Baker is he's a really good quarterback. I don't know if he gets enough credit now. I know when he first came out, me included, I didn't like him. I thought he was cocky. He struggled a little bit early on in his career, but man, he is a freaking good quarterback now. He really is.
He's got the heart of a champion, and he's got an excellent wide receiving core. I don't know if Godwin's going to be healthy.
He's not
might
back
see him
yet,
on the field.
He's supposed to come back soon. Like, he's a couple weeks away, I think.
Yeah, Buka's amazing.
But
Anyways,
they have
if Godwin comes, if Godwin still snaps from Buka, then that's fine with me. But yeah, two really tough games. Can you imagine though? We're going to need one of those ugly losses. If we somehow get to 4-0, we need an ugly loss somewhere to like reset the team. Like, I want them to lose before they get to like week 6. They have to.
I think after Tampa, they play the Giants 2 out of the next 3 weeks. I mean, as much as you say they need an ugly loss, I hope they don't lose to the freaking Giants.
No. And here's the funny thing, though. As I say that, at the same time, if they commit to the run and they play good defense, they could literally win every game, go all the way to the Super Bowl, have the greatest season ever. And then would anyone actually care if Jalen Hurts threw 100 yards or 50 yards or 300? No. You would have said this was the greatest NFL team of all time. And that would have been period. Like, no arguments. So commit to the run, play good defense, go home with a win. That's my last thought.
And on that note, we'll wrap things up. And I'll just say this. If that whole scenario just went out the way you just said it would, I would love Jalen Hurts on the final knee in a Super Bowl to say, I don't care. I only threw 400 yards. Shut the F up. We just won a Super Bowl.
100%. 100%.
All right, on that note, fly, Eagles, fly. Matt and I will cut you down to the game. Enjoy the game this weekend against the Rams. And until next time, thanks for joining us. Fly, Eagles, fly. And we'll cut you down to Philly.
Go Birds.